Hello, welcome to a look at Adobe Bridge. We're going to be looking at smart collections and keywords. Now you'll notice I'm actually in Explorer at the moment, and that's because I've got this folder which is storing all the tutorials for InDesign, which I've been working my way through, and I'd like to see the information a bit more clearly because this folder is really not in a convenient place. So what I'll do is I'll right click on it in Explorer and I'll go to Browse in Adobe Bridge 2020. So once we've done that, you can see this menu is going to come up, and we've got the folder here. So I've adapted the workspace here to a few things that I've done on the workspace. I've done a new workspace. I just called it Work, and I've got the filter panel, the collections panel, the keywords panel, and the favorites panel. So the first thing I want to do is I want to make sure that we've got this folder added to the favorites. So I'll put it on there, and now you can see it here. So now within these folders, there's documents that we're going to want, like these InDesign documents. And they're the ones that we're going to want, and they're sort of spread out throughout all the folders that we've got here. So a good way to make it so that we can actually see them all really clearly is to use collections. Now you've got two different types of collection that we can do. We've got new collection or new smart collection. I'm going to be using a smart collection for this, but in the interest of completeness, I'd like to show just a regular collection. So if I go back to favorites, you can see I've got, for instance, got this Minecraft folder, and what I could do is I could select these two items, and I'll do new collection, and it will give me insert selected files and new collection, and I'll press yes, and that will create a. So for instance, I could just call this Minecraft Rough, because this is essentially what these files are, and then we've got this collection here, so I can access this whenever I like. And you can also you can change some of the things. You can see some information about when I made some of this content, and that's pretty cool. But the more powerful way of doing collections, this is more for like if you've just got a folder like this. You know, for instance, I could do it with this After Effects one, which has just got a couple of things in it. But in something like this, where there's all sorts of files in all different folders and they're really inconvenient to find, you're actually going to want to use the Smart Collection. Okay, so let's use the Smart Collection. We'll click on this button, New Smart Collection. The key thing to mention is we're going to be looking in this Experiences folder, and we're going to be looking for the file name containing the InDesign documents, and also we've got a Word document there as well. And we're going to specify we're going to want all the criteria to be met. So we'll press save. And what's going to happen is we're going to get these documents here. So these are within all these folders that I just showed you, and we've got various different documents. You can see already that this is a lot clearer to see, like the documents that we want to see. So we're going to call this InDesign documents. Okay, so what we can do now, and the reason I set up my workspace in this way, is because if you click on filter, we can filter with InDesign documents, or we can also see our Word document. And I've also got a few more things. We can specify which things we want here, and I've chosen ones that are going to be useful for this tutorial. And I think in general, these are kind of useful things that we need, like file type, keywords, date created, date modified. So the next step then is to start to use keywords. So how are we going to do that? Well, what I'd like to do is maybe we'll change this to a list view. And what we can do is we can see these are actually what is in these files. And what I'd like to do is perhaps add some text, a text keyword, so we can easily find the documents which have got text in them. And you can see we've got one called import text, we've got two called import text, and we've got text wrap. So how are we going to do that? What we're going to do is we're going to select this, and then we're going to hold down Control, and then we're going to select that one as well. And then we're going to add a new keyword, and we're going to call this keyword text. And now to give these documents that keyword, make sure they're selected as they are, and we press on the tick for text. So what that will do now is if you look at keywords, this section here, you'll see now text has now got two. So if I click here, you'll see those will be selected like that. So one thing to remember in Adobe is that the reason I didn't add this Word document, so we can just select this one, the reason I didn't add this one, and I'll show you right now. So we'll click on it, and we'll try and set this one to give it the text keyword as well. And you'll see it says the file import text.x cannot support XMP metadata. So in general, working with anything in Adobe Creative Suite, you want to convert it to PDFs first. So I'd want to convert any Word documents into a PDF, and that way I'll be able to assign the XMP metadata organized within these folders. So we can't do that one. We can also add the margins and columns actually to text keyword. So you'll notice now if you look at the text keyword, it goes up to 3. Okay, and we can see that it's in there. So let's go back to our design documents and let's take a look at another keyword that I would like to add, and that keyword is going to be called layers. So we're going to select this, and you'll notice that now text is no longer selected because we didn't obviously specify that. So we're going to add a new keyword and we're going to call it layers. Now you'll notice when I press enter, it doesn't actually automatically do it. It just creates the keyword. So it doesn't actually matter what you've got selected. It's only what you've got selected when you press the checkbox. So now I can add that to layers. And if I wanted to add another one to layers, so for instance this create layers, as soon as I press this create layers button, it will select the create layers, but it won't automatically add it. And then you can press it and it will create, and then you can add it. So you can see now on the left hand side here we have 2 documents which have got the layers keyword and 3 which have got the text keyword. So what we might want to do then is go back to collections, and then we could do another smart collection. Instead of using the file name, we could go here and we could select keywords. We could do text, and again we'll do another keyword, and we'll do layers. And again we're still looking in this experience folder. We always have to select a folder to actually look for our documents, and then we'll press find, and we can do text and layers, and you'll notice that now in this text and layers we have just the 5 documents. And if we go to the filter, we can see only that this information is now here. Okay, so now what we're going to try and do is we're going to click on this margins and columns, and you can see it's been given text. The good thing about keywords is we can have multiple keywords. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're here in the text and layers collection. Okay, so I think like margins and columns and text wrap are both to do with formatting as well. So let's do another keyword and see what happens here. So we'll do formatting, and we'll add that in here, and we'll also have that on to the text wrap as well, formatting. So even though we added the formatting keyword in the text and layers collection, you'll see that if we go back to the InDesign to the larger collection, we can still have the ability to do the formatting. So what's useful about this is that we can then go back to our favorites folder. So say if I wanted to provide this tutorial, this is about formatting as well. So I could then go to keyboard, I could then go to the keywords, and we could say that this is about formatting. So it's kind of clear how that's useful, right? Because all you have to do is just build up a lexicon of keywords, and then whatever folders that you've selected for your favorites folder, you can then assign keywords to them. There's a couple more ways to label your information as well. You see here, we could label this tutorial as I say a 5-star tutorial, and that way you'll see the ratings will actually be able to come here. And if we want to, we could also do this as well. So just to give some labels. So yeah, so various different things that we can do there, and we can remove that. Put no label. So yeah, we can also use the control keys, control 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 0 to get rid of the rating. But yeah, I mean that is really all I wanted to talk about today. And I hope it's given you some idea of how to manage documents within Adobe Bridge. So thanks for watching.